So welcome. We are here for a quick session on a very important day today. I guess this session is as important as it is for the economic growth of India. Why we are here today gathered together is to celebrate something which is known as the National Startup Day. Okay. Why this session is taking place over here, first of all, is to start from the base level. Now, you all understand, you all are students, right? Everything will start from you, okay? After the cycle is finished and you graduate, there'll be two things you guys will do. One, you'll get a job, and the second thing is create a job, right? Getting into a job is something else, but creating a job is something which is something every country's economy needs, because if you don't create a job in a country, there'll be no employment. India, what's the population of India, by the way? Anyone who can give me a quick figure? 140 what? Sheep? Okay. 140 crore. Are we sitting at around 1.4, 1.5 billion people? And it's not wrong to say that we are 17% of the world's population. In India and China including is going to hit nearly 50% of the world's population. USA is sitting at around 4 million people. That is the population combined of Bihar and UP. We are a huge country, and to fulfill the stomachs and the mindset of people, we need a lot of jobs. And who's going to create the jobs? Entrepreneurs. Where do entrepreneurs come from? From you guys. And that's why we're doing this session today, to motivate you guys. Okay, we're going to keep it very open and light. I want a lot of interaction from all of you, so that we can exchange ideas and we can have this fruitful session. Okay, ready? Good? Let's start. That's me, by the way. And this is what we're celebrating today. We are celebrating National Startup Day. Next slide, sir. So, quick question. Are you Gen Z or Gen Beta? Oh, what is a startup? What's a startup? How do you define a startup? Okay, at least you tried. Good. Yeah. Yeah, Tur.
Basically creating some ideas, new idea.
Creating a new idea or converting a new idea into something else? Amazing. Amazing. Anyone else? Amit, what do you think is a startup? Because you are actually an entrepreneur yourself, right? You're doing something. So tell me what a startup is.
Innovative idea को existence में लाना.
Okay. Perfect. So I've heard two things, new and innovative. What else? Anyone else who has a different definition for a startup? Yeah, please.
To start your own venture where you work 24/7.
Okay, that shows commitment. So innovation, new, commitment, 24/7. Another quick question. Next slide, sir. Next. How is a startup different from a new business? You said a new business, but there's a small catch. The reason I skipped the definition is because I'll get back to it in the later. I just realized that I'll get back to it in the end. Because the problem over here is we don't really understand the concept of startups. We confuse startups with just another typical new business, which is not the case. That's where we are wrong. Okay? I might be someone from a business family and I start a new business, I start a new shop somewhere. That's not a startup. Okay? So we'll get back to the definition of startup in the later end. So please. I have a couple of facts for you. We were sitting together and discussing this through, and we came up with a quick eye-opening facts. I wanted to read this real quick. It says that as of July 2024, which is just like a couple of months back, India has over 140,000 startups registered. Okay, and this is from the New Indian Express. Hold on, we'll come to the next fact. I'm going to go one by one. With India in Maharashtra, it's leading by 25,044 startups out of the whole state count. Next. Karnataka is sitting at around 15,000. Next, sir. Delhi is at 14,000. And Uttar Pradesh is at 13. Is there one more? Okay. And Gujarat is kind of lagging at 11,000. Where is Punjab right now? Is nowhere. right? I understand we are celebrating National Startup Day, but we reside in Punjab right now, right? So where is Punjab? And the question you have to ask yourself is, coming from Punjab, most of you, why is that the reason? We'll get back to that question too. Next slide, sir. However, the number of new startups launched in 2024 has declined by 65%. And there's another crazy part I'm going to come to next. There's only 3.3% startups that have reached peak sustainability. Okay? I'll give you an example of our city, Ludhiana city, and this will percolate to all over India I'm generalizing it, but yeah, it might happen. The problem with the Ludhiana city has been lack of innovation. Okay? People have been running businesses as they've been running for as long as they've been running, right? New generations like you come in, you enter into the business, you run it as it was running for the last 20, 30, 40, 50 or 100 years, whatever the lineage has been. There has been zero innovation in the way businesses have been done. The second problem is that people don't understand what a startup really is. Okay? People don't understand what a startup for people is just starting a new business. That's not true. Startup for me and for everybody else, you've seen the definition, is bringing disruption. Okay? Another problem with startups culture is that we don't understand is we join the bandwagon. For now, I feel everybody who wants to do a startup wants to open up an app. They want to launch an app. Why? Because Zomato has an app, Swiggy has an app. I know this is going into a very negative overturn of a lecture, but you'll see the positive side too later on, right? And then the other bandwagon that we're jumping on is AI. And sorry to say, if I ask you this question again, what is artificial intelligence really? We don't know the answer. Okay? So the problem with youngsters is that they want to do a startup, but they don't understand the concept of startups. That's exactly what we're here for, to motivate you to understand what a startup is. And to be honest, it's very, very simple than it is. We actually have complicated the definition of startups in our minds a lot. Any questions so far? Okay, next slide. I want you to look at this chart very carefully. If you can understand, I want you to let me know what you feel when you see this map and what you can decipher out of it. What do you see? You see the world map, obviously. But what do you see? What else do you see? Which country has the highest number of startups? Obviously, that's why I'm showing it to you. Hanji? Who said that? Thank you, sir. USA. How many startups? 82,911. What was the comparison of population I gave you versus India? 400 million is the population of the United States of America. Okay? And now look at India. How many startups? How many? 17,696. And these are the ones that have reached sustainability. I'm not talking of only registered startups. I'm talking of people, startups that are actually doing really well. We are sitting at a population of again around 1.7 billion versus a population which is of two states of ours, 400 million, is having more than 5 times of startups than us. Why? Anyone who has an answer for this? What do you think is the reason? I've already given you the answer. Lack of creativity is something else. Lack of innovation. Okay? And there's one more thing that will come to, lack of market research. Apart from innovation too, is lack of market research. Oh, so we'll build up more on that. Next slide, sir. So one by one, we'll see the major reasons that we came across. Number one is economic uncertainty. These are things that are on the book. Okay, they're printed and published. But isn't economic uncertainty everywhere? Don't you think US doesn't have economic uncertainty? Political instability? Look at the elections in the US. You know, look at what Trump and Biden and all they're going through. It's there, right? Is that a reason? I don't know, maybe not. Next. Geopolitical tensions. Who doesn't have, you understand geopolitical tensions? Yes. Russia, Ukraine, India, and then United States fighting with some other person, Afghanistan coming in, Taliban coming in, trade disrupt, all these things happen. But isn't this again a global thing, right? Next slide. increased investor scrutiny. Obviously, right? If Shahid wants to invest $100 million into somebody's business, obviously he'll be he wants to be sure about it. He wants his money to be safe, right? But the good thing over here is, on the positive side, that although personally don't like the show, your Shark Tank, but these shows are actually creating a positive wave in economies. Why? Because if they're not doing anything else, even if it is scripted for that matter, it is creating this sense of knowledge and education for people, of at least telling them, motivating them that there's something called startups, giving them hope that they're investors sitting and ready to invest in your business, for that matter. So this thing is also very important. There's one more thing that I'll also talk about that we are doing in our university later on. Next slide. Funding constraints, which is again, sorry to use this word, is a stupid reason why people are not bringing into startups, because we all understand that funding has never been a constraint for startups. There are people who are ready to invest a lot of money into businesses, but the problem again, let's go back to the problem. Problem is lack of market research and lack of innovation. An investor is never going to come and give you money if they feel that your business is not going to be sustainable, right? Your business must be sustainable. You understand sustainable longevity? Your business must have a shelf life. It should be there to exist for a couple of decades, not even years. Only then will an investor come and invest in you. But that is only going to come if you have done good, strong market research and you're different from what the other people are doing. Next slide, sir. Again, competition kahan nahi hai, right? Next slide. Unclear market strategies. This is where the problem actually lies. Okay, we don't know what we really want to do. We get like excited, we launch a business and then it goes for a toss. Next slide, sir. And lack of market research. And the last one, my favorite, is lack of innovation. Now, just take a pause. What I'll do over here now is, I'm going to take you through some brands and some companies that you know. I could have brought in some really fancy startups here for you, and shown. I would have very proudly said, oh, these are startups that you don't know about, and then motivated you on that. But I have not done that. I have decided to do the opposite. I have brought in startups that you already know of, and I want to ask you the stories behind them. And then I want to understand why these guys made it big and why others didn't make it big. And then we'll relate to what they did different versus what other startups that are new are doing wrong, for that matter. Everybody knows Ola? Do you know who started it? You know the name of the person? Rohit should know the name of the person. He's zoned out. Thank you, Rohit. Bhavesh Agarwal. You know where Bhavesh is from? He's from your own city, Ludhiana city. You know what is the valuation of Ola right now? It's close to $7 billion. And you know what Ola did? It copied somebody. Who did it copy? Duh. Nothing fancy. No AI. They took somebody's idea and they copy pasted like you do your assignments to India. USA to India. That's it. And you know what the crazy part is? Ola does not have any taxi tangibility. They don't own any, thank you ma'am. They don't own any taxi. They don't own anybody, they don't give you anybody salaries. All they have done is they have just put up 2-3 stakeholders together and given them a platform, and they're making billions of dollars. Another thing which I forgot to tell you is innovation, market research, simplicity is also another thing. Sometimes people overcomplicate startups as a concept. That's it. All they did was change the geography and they did wonders. Okay, to be honest, I'll also admit that Ola is not doing really well right now. Uber has actually overtaken Ola, but conceptually, it was a success story. Yes or no? You agree with me? No. Mr. Kevin Richards in the house, everybody. Next slide, please. Have you heard of this? What do they make? Okay, you have to be like one by one, otherwise I'll get, yeah, just go.
White labeling.
Huh?
White labeling.
White labeling. Many people do not understand that. Can you break it down for them?
Buying the product from China and
Okay, fine. Okay, don't, ठीक है. Okay, I'll agree with you. But what is a business strategy here? Jatin, you want to, what do they make? What does boat make, man? I mean, come on, you guys. They make headphones. They make speakers. They make technology like pointers, sliders. All. That's fine. Yeah, but many people make that. Protronics is making it, right? JBL makes it. Sony makes it. Sennheiser makes it. Bose makes it. How are they different?
Because they are cheap.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And it's not about being cheap or affordable. It is about finding, now the fourth learning today. What was the first? Market research, innovation, simplicity. Fourth is finding the niche. Niche. What does a niche mean? Finding a group of people who do not get the product they really want. Now, I knew when I was growing up, Skull Candy was the thing. Skull Candy is another headphone brand that you might have never heard of. If you have, you might be from a very old prehistoric generation. I don't know if Skull Candy exists today. But we used to dream of buying a Skull Candy. It's expensive for us. So there was this guy who figures out, you know what, there's a group of people who want to buy products, who are enthusiasts, they're youngsters, but they're not getting it because it's expensive for them. Why not launch a music enthusiast headphone, whatever, electronics, at a cheaper price? That's all they did. And they white labeled it, obviously. I mean, and white labeling is not a bad thing. If I buy something from China, put a label on of my whatever and sell it, it's okay. As long as I'm able to understand what the customer wants, and I'm able to sell it, and I'm able to sustain that business. Innovation. Innovation does not have to percolate to only AI and apps. Okay? Innovation means understanding your market and giving them the product. Innovation. Make sense? We all need to really wake up, because I think the camera is making a little too. Okay, I think they'll edit this out next. Huh? Bharat Pay. What do they do? Oh, by the way, boat is sitting at around $3 billion. Yeah, Bharat Pay. What do they do? Online transactions. UPI. Have you heard of PayPal? Did the same thing. PayPal is a little different. PayPal started with the gateway, I guess. Bharat Pay is into UPI interactions, right? Now, I'll tell you the importance of market research. India went digital. The Modi government says, you know what, everything is going to be quick, UPI, Bharat Pay, scan code. They kind of clawed onto that idea because they were following what's happening around them. Okay, and they were quick enough to kind of take advantage of that particular thing, and they did wonders, sitting at around $2-3 billion. Next, sir. You know this logo? Hanji? Cred. What does Cred do? How many of you use Cred right now? Any Cred users? I bet you don't want to show that you're. No? Nobody uses Cred here? Ma'am, do you use Cred?
Credit card holder use कर दिया सर.
हाँ जी?
Credit card holder use करते हैं.
Come again.
Credit card सर.
Cred, yeah. You don't use credit cards? You're not allowed to? But okay, jokes apart, Cred is a very simple idea. All they're doing is they're putting your credit cards into one platform, and all they're doing is they're collecting your data basically. They know your CIBIL score, they know how many cards you have, they know where you come from, and they're using a very simple concept of gamification. Okay, gamification in fintech. So if you use Cred, you can buy and sell products. Sorry, not sell. You can buy products on your credit card. They give you points for that. You get coins, and then you can get discounts on other things. That's all they're doing. Okay. All they're trying to basically do is they're going to entice you to buy more products. Okay, that's it. Nothing else. It's as simple as that. This guy is sitting at around $4 billion, and all are unicorns now. You understand a unicorn?
Yes.
What is the definition of a unicorn?
Who has market cap of 1 billion?
1 billion. Perfect. Next, sir. Heard of delivery? What do? They deliver products. As simple as that. As simple as, they have become so good now that they're competing with FedEx, UPS, and they're doing wonderful. 90% of the delivery system in Ludhiana, which are used by Amazon and all, are delivery. Okay, all they're doing is moving things from one place to the other. Is there AI involved over here? No. Yes, there's an app, but the idea over here is to understand what the people really want. Next, Before, sir, sorry. Okay, fine. Girls get excited. Nika is here. Before Nika, there was no e-commerce platform that was selling cosmetics online. Yes, Amazon was doing it. Yes, Myntra was doing it all along. But again, it's about finding that niche. So they know that there's a couple of there's a population of women in India, obviously, who want to buy things. That's it. Put them on the side, create a platform, and they sell all cosmetic shampoos and everything. That's it. It's been wonderful. This is sitting at around, I think, $2 to $3 billion itself. You know the owner of who started Nika? Falguni Nair. You just botched her surname. It's not Nair, it's Nair. Next. Urban company. Started somewhere in COVID. Why did it start?
To provide home services.
Yeah, because I could not go and get a haircut in COVID. Right? It's simple as that. Made an app, got up with some people, and here's something that you have to understand throughout this whole lecture. They have generated a lot of employment also. Right? And especially this particular startup, they have promoted something which is known as freelancing at a very, very large scale. That means they have made people independent agents, right? So if I'm, rather than working for a salon for a small money, I've become a little, what we call as a mini entrepreneur. Okay, if I know makeup, I can do a little bit of threading and everything. I register with them, okay, I get a customer, so I'm doing business, plus I'm also a free agent, and I'm also working for somebody, and I'm making money also. I give a cut to Urban, I do my thing, and I'm done. Again, a very simple idea. But the idea is again to find the niche, and this is doing really well. From getting your ACs cleaned to cleaning your house to cooking food for you at your place to getting your haircut, threading eyebrows, everything is done over here. A person will come to your place, easy peasy. Okay, are you with me? Okay. Just a quick laugh on threading. Next slide, sir. 1mg. Again, all are unicorns. What does 1mg do? It's, thank you ma'am, pharmaceutical. But what do they really do?
Medicine.
Yes, they not only sell medicines online, but they give you information on medicines, right? And the good part is they're giving you a medicine at a price that your pharmacist would never give you. Secondly, they give you your medicines at home, right? So again, if you look at all these startups that I'm discussing with you, every startup has catered to one little segment of the population. They're not catering to everybody. So they have figured out this is what the customer wants. These are a group of people. They found the niche. They have found an innovative idea through an app, and they are catering to that particular group. It's getting a little boring right now. Next. Anybody who knows Licious? What does Licious do? Unfortunately, Licious is not doing really well in the smaller cities, but in the metros it's doing really well. Shahid, what do you think Licious does? Shahid is a great fan of biryani, by the way. He's promised me that he's going to get me some good biryani, but he's not reached my stomach yet. So if Shahid wants to make a nice biryani at home, he does not have to go to the butcher. He'll order his protein from Licious. Okay, but the challenge in this was the freshness of the product. So they figured a very nice logistics where they have tied up with cold stores in metro cities that can freeze and keep their proteins fresh, and then they send it to the customers, and it is very hygienic and everything. What they've tried to do is they've tried to understand and there's another thing they've done. They have started catering to the Muslim community with halal proteins also now, right? It's all about understanding what the customer wants. That's what innovation is. Next. Okay, Tauheed, what do you think Zerodha is?
It's a trading platform.
Okay, how many of you do trading? Like, I know a couple of students who do, who might not raise their hands. Yeah, Toor, come on, stop lying to us. Yeah, you're a big investor, right? So, Toor, how does Zerodha help you? You're on Zerodha?
Yes.
So, what does it do?
Basically, it is a platform which provides us to help to trade in our, like, whichever index we want to, like Nifty 50, for example.
Okay, and
Help us to
And how is it different from investing individually? How does Zerodha kind of help you?
Zero brokerage. Zero brokerage.
Amazing, right? The problem normally was that stockbrokers would take they would take a cut from you. Now you can independently invest without giving anybody any kind of money. Simple idea, taken forward. I don't know the valuation. I think Zerodha is also in the billion category, but it's at $8 billion, I guess. It's I think the highest grosses. Hanji? Yes, they have become millionaires after this. But I think they're the highest. This is the highest grossing net worth unicorn that is on the list today. Okay. Next. Everybody knows Rapido. Again, see what they've done is very simple. Uber, Ola. I'll convert Uber, Ola into two-wheelers, right? Cheaper, more convenient. You reach your destination faster because it's a two-wheeler, right? There's another one I can't remember right now, which has actually started catering to auto rickshaws now. I forgot the name. Bumblebee, I guess. I'm not sure. It's a very nascent startup. So now converting auto rickshaws into another one is coming to Red Bus. Have you heard of Red Bus? Yes. Same thing. It would be a pain in the, I don't use the word, in the tashrif to get a bus. Okay, you have to edit that out. And go to the bus stand, book a bus for yourself, but now I can do it on the app. And I can compare the prices. Amazing. Hanji? Yeah. This is my favorite. I'm addicted to Blinkit. Do you know what it was named before Blinkit?
Groupers.
Thank you, Grofers. Grofers was a failed startup. You know why? Anyone who can tell me why Grofers was a failed startup? Have you heard of Big Basket? Yes. So Grofers and Big Basket were kind of competing with each other. Both failed. Can you tell me why?
Time.
Hanji?
Time.
Okay, time is one thing. Yes, it did take time. There's a word which is known as pilferage, and okay, I'll use a simpler word: wastage. Wastage of produce. Okay, so what they would do was they would store things and they would try to forecast demand based on what the customer wants. By the time that would happen, the shelf life of products would kind of go for a toss. Okay, that's one. Second, obviously somebody mentioned time. It is crazy that in Ludhiana city, at the traffic rate we have, a packet of Lay's is reaching in 10 minutes. It'll take 15 minutes for you to yourself go and get it. They're giving it to you before that. 10 minutes. Okay, that is as simple as what innovation means. Okay, 10 minutes. They made a huge difference. Suddenly Grofers became Blinkit, and by the time you blink your eye, your product is at home. Okay, started from Delhi. And anybody knows how it works? It works different in different cities. In Delhi, the demographics and geography is very different from Ludhiana city. So in Delhi, what they do is they don't store things. Delhi is so close-knit that they have tied up with shopkeepers. So as soon as they get the order, the purchase order, they'd go to the shopkeeper, pack it up and send it to you. Ludhiana is a little different. Ludhiana, they have mini warehouses. Yeah. Hanji? They're tying up with shopkeepers also. That's amazing. Now they have small warehouses, right? And they are sending products in 10 minutes. Next. I think this is one of the last. Practo? By the way, Blinkit is still very new. Blinkit is not, I'm not sure, my facts may be wrong. It's around $400 million yet for now. Practo, what does Practo do? Come on guys. Dipansha, Practo. No? No one knows Practo? Guesses from the name? Yeah? Yes, these are consultants, but for what? Medical, amazing. Not medicine. Okay, medicine is part of it. Medical. Who are the stakeholders? Doctors. Okay. So what basically happens is, if I had to go and get a checkup right now, I had to get an appointment from the doctor, and I had to wait in the line. Here, what I can do is I can do it sitting at home. Simple as that. I don't have to go to the clinic, wait, and get my turn. So doctors are put on a platform virtually. You can get your doctor if he or she is listed in Ludhiana city. You do a video call. You give your symptoms to the person. They give you the remedies. They give you the medicine. You order your medicine from 1 mg. You take it and you don't have to even step out of your living room. That's what they're doing. Again, understanding what the customer wants. So, Razorpay, it is a direct competition to PayPal in India, right? It's a payment gateway system. It allows you to pay money when you're shopping online. Okay, next. Okay, here's a small story I want to share with you. The reason I brought Coca-Cola over here is not, I mean, you'll be like, stupid him, maybe it's a glitch. Maybe so Coca-Cola, you know how long Coca-Cola has existed on this earth? 100 years plus, right? And the reason why Coca-Cola is still doing wonderful is because of those 4-5 lessons that we have learned today. Innovation, market research, simplicity, एक और था मैं भी भूल गया. फोर्थ वाला कुछ था कि 3 ही थे? शुक्रिया, niche. Quick story, Coca-Cola has been doing wonderful graph-wise, but there's a time when Cristiano Ronaldo decided to put those bottles away. $1.45 billion stock crashed that day, right? Then they started doing a lot of market research. By the way, Coca-Cola spends around $400 to $500 million on just market research. You might have heard these facts in your in other classes that I've been telling you. And they figured that people have stopped drinking their drinks, so they come up with all these Coke Zero comes in, you know, Coke Diet comes in, but the sales would never go up. Then they launched these juice drinks, Pulpy comes in, Minute Maid comes in, still not. Why? Because they figured that the customer is now changing the taste has changed. Youngsters are now becoming more health conscious. You know, people are moving into vegan. People are moving into almond milk. People are moving into oat milk. You know, people are drinking real milk. How would they drink Coca-Cola? And next slide. And this happened. This is a sub-brand of Coca-Cola. I want you to look at this for 10 seconds. And see, this is amazing. They spent around $2 billion on just market research. And this is what they came up with. This is Coca-Cola's very own milk brand, Fairlife. Okay, and it gives you all range of kinds of milk, from protein milk to oat milk to almond milk to flavored milk, whatever. And they launched their first batch in, I think, South Korea or Japan, I guess, one of them. And from that time onwards, and they have not labeled it as Coca-Cola. That's what they did intelligently. Because, can you tell me why they didn't do that? Why didn't they label it under the umbrella of Coca-Cola? Why is it a totally different category of products that they've launched under a new brand? Okay, that's fine. Exactly. So if you put Coca-Cola on the label, nobody's going to buy it again.
Because Coca-Cola sees as a brand unhealthy.
Exactly, right? That's pretty much it. So to change that mindset, they launched this, and it is projected that out of all the other milk products that are there, this is doing fairly well, and it is doing wonders. So what is a mantra of a successful startup? Number 1, market research. Companies take years and years on market research just to understand what the customer needs. And market research is of 2 types, primary and secondary, right? The amount of money that is spent on market research is going to totally dictate whether your product or your startup is going to be successful or unsuccessful. Rather than blindly launching a product and wasting all your money, it is important that youngsters who want to become entrepreneurs do extensive market research. I have many students in the past, and a few sitting over without naming anybody, who want to do business, and that's the only thing I tell them. As long as you can get on your foot into the market and talk to people, that's the only way you'll figure out what people really want. Second is secondary research, where you look at what's happening around you. You know, you see the trends around you. You see how the government is supporting different kinds of niches and startups. So, innovation. There's a term I'll use called jump the curve. Have you heard of this term before? Anyone who's heard of the term jump the curve? So to reach point A to point C, you have to go through point B. There are some people who have jumped from point A to point C. That's called jumping the curve. You are bringing a startup or a product into the markets that is going to disrupt everybody else. Can you think of something that's happened recently in a startup or a business that you have seen that has changed how things have been bought or sold? Anyone? Okay, from the list of startups that we did, who do you think has jumped the curve? Who said Blinkit? Why do you think Blinkit has jumped the curve, ma'am?
Because of the time management.
Right? And it has been a pain for everybody else. Okay, Amazon has now started a 2-day, 1-day delivery, but it's never going to come close to what Blinkit has done. So jump the curve means you have disrupted the whole process of how others are working and you have brought something very different. Another thing I'll bring, I have not put it on the list, there's a guy who started a brand called Mitti Cool. Have you heard of Mitti Cool? Anyone? Okay, Mitti Cool is a Gujarati guy who used to make clay pots at home. You know when there's Diwali, when you go and buy divas from people, they make those clay divas. That's what he used to do. And suddenly he had an idea where he said, I'm going to make refrigerators that will not use any electricity. Who knows how that idea came? And he started doing it. So he started making, and why he thought of that was because clay has a cooling effect. So he made refrigerators with just clay, mitti. Okay, and all he did was he'd put an area where you could put a little cold water and ice, and your food in the refrigerator would stay cold. In the olden times, medieval times, in the villages in Punjab also, there were no refrigerators. So vegetables were put in a, mitti ke ghar hote the, right? So they would put them and they would stay fresh. That's it. And then he started making other products like tawas, utensils, and he became a multimillionaire in a couple of years. That is again jumping the curve. Jumping the curve does not mean using artificial intelligence or apps. Jumping the curve means bringing something innovation that is not happening in the whatever. Next, find the niche, right? And I think there's one more. Have we done, sir? Perfect. Now I'm going to sum this up really quickly. There's a certain ecosystem also which is required to sustain a startup. And if you look at this slide, there are some stakeholders that are very important to support startups and innovation in a country. Number one is support organizations. So I'm going to name two organizations that I know and I'm in touch with, and sir is also in touch with. One is Startup India and Innovation Mission Punjab. In fact, tomorrow with my MBA class, we are going for an event in Innovation Mission Punjab in Chandigarh. Why these organizations are established hyper locally or nationally are to support entrepreneurship. All they're doing, their main motive is to make sure they identify a startup, give them funding, give them knowledge, and support them. Second is big companies. Ratan Tata unfortunately passed away. He had to one day, mortality. But he was one of those people who would always give hands-on help and support to startups. Big companies who have made it, who have done everything, are always supposed to be there to help others to come and make it like they did. Universities. Now I'm going to talk of something very important over here. And you might call this a promotional talk for a couple of seconds, but there's an event that the university is also organizing. It's called Big Fish Pool. All we're trying to do is replicate something that Shark Tank has done, but at a very micro level, okay? Now, the idea is again to promote entrepreneurship, okay? In case you guys are interested, we are there, you can register with us. It's happening on the 24th and 25th of January. It's a very good opportunity to kind of showcase if you have any kind of business acumen. But universities also play a huge role. Now, we are a very young budding university, but people like LPU, people like Chitkara are doing wonderful, and they have their own incubation centers. Again, the idea is if there's any student who has a business idea, to give them education, to support them, fund them, and make sure that their idea goes forward. Remember, I told you in the beginning, the only way an economy is going to grow if there is more business. Only then will there be more GDP. Only then there will be more employment. Make sense? Then you have funding organizations. The government itself is a huge funding organization. Then there are angel investors. Okay, they are venture capitalists, they are service providers, and they are research organizations who help you do your market research. And all this ecosystem brings new ideas, inventions, research, startups at various stages. They increase the number of entrepreneurs in an economy. Investors and mentors and advisors also get linked, right? So if anyone, any day ever wants to think, even if you have a small little grain of an idea, don't hold it back. Okay, bring it forward. You never know tomorrow, you might end up getting into a business. In fact, We share a couple of students who have done really well just by getting and participating in events like Big Fish Pool. Okay, I can name a couple of students that are doing it right now from wherever we know them from, and they're doing well. And it's not and it will take a time. It will take its 2-3 years or 4, 5, 6 years. It's not an easy process, right? Perfect. Do we have anything else? Yeah, just a small recommendation. I've read it. I want you to read it if you can. It's a book called Jumping the Curve. It's by Nicholas Imprapto and Oren Harry. Please, if you have time, just try to get a copy of it on Amazon, read it. And you'll find beautiful ideas and strategies how these guys have written this book to kind of promote how one can kind of bring a innovative idea, right? And I think that's pretty much it from my side. Thank you so much for listening to me. You have been in a wonderful audience. I wanted to introduce Kevin Richards. This guy he's your BBA final year colleague. He is doing wonderful when it comes to supporting entrepreneurship and everything. Big Fish Pool under Sahil, I and Kevin is I know going to do really well, right? I don't even look at him as a student. I look at him as a colleague because that's how it is. But again, anytime if anybody has even a small grain of a business idea, you can get in touch with us. He is the president of the ECEL right now in the university. He has a big team. In fact, there are some classmates of yours who are part of the ECEL. They're classmates of yours who are really supporting us and doing wonderful back end in making this event possible. So get in touch with us, Rajveer, Kevin, Dr. Sahil, and let's make an ecosystem where startups are kind of not taken as granted. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Adios.